Hey, welcome to the broadcast tonight, everybody. Tonight, we're going to be discussing this new tool right here, and you can see it on my screen. It's called Keyword Explorer, which was recently launched by Moz in an effort to replace their old tool, which is the Keyword Difficulty tool, this one right here. Now, many of you who've been using this recently, I've gotten emails over the last several weeks about this notice up here at the top, which is that the keyword difficulty will no longer be available as of June 2nd, 2016, which was a bit concerning when we all saw this, because I've been using this tool for years and have really liked it and feel like it's done a good job. Well, we're getting an upgrade, right? And that's what this is. This new tool that we're going to talk about, Keyword Explorer, that's an upgrade. And I think it's a pretty substantial upgrade, one that Moz has put quite a bit of work into, and we'll be using from here on out. So again, as of June 2nd, if you're using this tool, switch, because it will no longer be available, okay? And we'll be using this one right here. Now, the web address for this is just moz.com/explorer. Okay, and you can probably see that right up here. I know it's a little small, but we're just going to have to be okay with that because I can't zoom in on this. Right up there at the top, moz.com/explorer is the address. Now, here's the reason why I give it to you. The rule with this is Moz has said that they're going to give you 2 free keyword searches every single day, but only 2. Some of you guys are Moz Pro members, or at least you're on the free trial of Moz Pro, which gives you 30 days to use this tool, and then after which they want you to pay for a subscription, which, you know, is whatever it is, $150, $200 a month. Never have we suggested that that's what you should do. Rather, we've told you that you should create a free trial and use it, get all of your keyword research done, or the vast majority of it done, and then cancel your trial. And then you'll never pay anything for it. The nice thing about this is, even once you've canceled your trial, from what I understand, you can do 2 searches a day. Now, that's not very much, but on the odd chance you need to look up a keyword here and there, you don't necessarily have to have a Moz Pro account, which I thought was nice. In fact, I found that information out here. I'm going to share with you this link for all of you guys who are here live. Let me, there you go. Hopefully all of you guys got that. Let me just try it one more time. There's the link. I think I'll also just put it up here, and we'll leave it up here for a second in case you want to write it down. There you go. This comes from Moz, their blog, where they announced all the ins and outs of why they decided to make a change, what some of the upgrades are, what are the improvements, and what to expect. Well, while I was reading that, I guess I should probably leave this up for just one more second. moz.com/blog/announcing, and then everything else is got a dash in between the words. Announcing -keyword -explorer -moz's with an S -new -keyword -research -tool. Okay. Now, not that you have to read this whole announcement, but I'm going to take you over to it right here for just a second. This was posted on May 3rd. They said what I was referring to just a minute ago was this right here. It says, if you want to skip hearing about it and just try it out, head on over, which I gave you the address, moz.com/explorer. You can run 2 free searches per day without even being logged in. If you have a community account, and that's something on Moz, you can set up your own free community account. You get 5 free searches a day. And then if you want to use it more than that, you have to be a pro subscriber, like we talked about, or at least be in the free trial period. Okay. Now, I'm not sure how much of this I want to do, but let me just share with you, according to Moz, what some of the 5 big new unique features are for the Keyword Explorer. Okay, let me zoom in here a bit more so you should be able to read this better with me. Okay, the 5 big unique features for Keyword Explorer. Keyword Explorer, which we've taken to calling KWE for short, so you'll see that referenced here a bit, has lots of unique features, metrics, and functionality, but the biggest ones are pretty obvious and, we believe, highly useful. Okay, we're going to go through a couple of these. Number 1, KWE takes you all the way through the keyword research process, from discovering keyword ideas to getting metrics to building a list, filtering the keywords on it, and prioritizing which ones to target based on the numbers that matter. Okay, so here's why I think this is actually nice. Before, when you guys went to the keyword difficulty tool, the old one, right? You would type in a keyword phrase of some kind. And then what would the keyword difficulty tool tell us? It would tell us how difficult it is to rank and how popular the keyword phrase is. What it didn't do for us is we had to go and find external tools and resources to come up with ideas to plug in to our keyword difficulty tool. They have a new function here, and I'm just gonna go right over and show you what this function is. Let me grab my pointer, and let's go here. This is Keyword Explorer. Somebody give me a keyword to type in. A keyword phrase of some kind. Maybe it's related to your business. Maybe it's not. Give me an example. All right, Cindy, I'll take yours because you spoke first. Sturdy storage was the idea. You guys can all see that. Let's do a search for it. All right, and here's what's interesting. Okay, we're going to go over all of this stuff here in just a minute, but this is what they're referring to by number 1. It's this section right here. Okay, this tool now gives you other suggestions. All right. Now, before, in order to get other suggestions and other ideas for keywords, for some of you who are here live, where would we go about doing that? Where would we come up with our keyword ideas before taking it to the difficulty tool? Yeah, most of you guys are saying keywordtool.io, which is still a good one. Okay, I would still use keywordtool.io, but I guess the point is that, and for me the jury's still out because I haven't used this enough, but keyword suggestions is supposed to help replace that all in one tool. So you can come down here and you can see all 1,000 suggestions, and then you'll have a big list of various suggestions here. Where do these suggestions come from? Well, in part, they come from different places. They use the Google Keyword Planner tool. They use keywordtool.io, Google Suggest, and several other places to sort of put it in one spot. That way, you're not having to use multiple tools. So it's pretty good. I mean, if you go through here, you're going to get a lot of different suggestions. So if you're at a loss for keyword ideas, the thought is use this tool, plug in a keyword like this. You can do some filtering. You can filter by volume so that you can only see keywords that are above a certain volume. Now, when I say volume, I'm talking about popularity, and we'll get into that more here in just a second. But suffice it to say, if I click back on the overview here, this could potentially help replace your use of keywordtool.io, okay? But we'll see, because we're all just using this. I mean, the tool is still pretty brand new, so we'll see. But that's one of Moz's big things. They think this is going to be really helpful to internet marketers. Okay. All right, let's go back to number 2 here. Okay, number 2, KWE features metrics essential to the SEO process. 2, you're already familiar with, which is volume and difficulty. And then 3 new ones that you're less familiar with, which are opportunity, importance, and potential. Let's take a look at that. These are the ones that if you're using this tool for the first time, you might recognize volume. You should recognize difficulty, but opportunity and potential are new. Let's talk about each of these in some detail first. When we're looking at this keyword phrase, sturdy storage, it gives us a volume score of 11 to 50. What does that mean? What does volume mean, and what do those numbers mean? Does anybody know here who's used this tool or wants to venture to take a guess? It's similar to the last volume used in the keyword difficulty tool. Yeah, it's how often it's typed in, right? So, for example, if we were to go to Google, and I will zoom in on this so you can see it a bit better, and we type in sturdy storage and do a search, what the tool is telling us is that action took place. The act of someone going to Google and typing in sturdy storage, that takes place 11 to 50 times a month inside Google specifically. Now, there's a lot of detail that goes into how they actually come up with this number. But what they say, using a lot of pretty advanced analysis, they say that there is I want to say a 95% chance. Let me check to see if that's right. I think it's 95. Yes. Read this little pop-up box right there. Volume ranges show you with a 95% or more accuracy how often a term or phrase is searched for in Google each month. So they did some analysis, and they find that 95% of the time, this number is going to be accurate. The searches are somewhere in between 11 to 50 every single month. Now, is that very many searches, guys? On any given month, it could be as low as 11, or it could be as high as 50, probably somewhere in between, right? Is that very many? No, not really, right? That's not necessarily a lot of searches, but that's okay, because as you guys have learned, when we talk keyword research, most of you have sites that have often hundreds of pages on the site. Those pages could be blog articles, they could be product pages, they could be category pages. And if you optimize each singular page around a given search phrase, even if that search phrase is only getting 11 to 50 searches per month, you'll still get a lot of traffic, right? That's the theory. So it's okay to target something that's not incredibly popular, in other words, and that's something that we've definitely talked about. Okay, does that make sense there on volume? A 95% confidence that it's between those numbers. Now they say, you'll remember on the old tool, this one right here, the numbers weren't as accurate, and that was one of the big complaints of people who use this tool, us included, and maybe even you. You'd find a lot of not available data, and a lot of the numbers weren't entirely accurate. In fact, they often weren't very accurate at all. Even Google's own keyword planner tool, which you may have heard of, it's very popular for keyword research. It's called Google Keyword Planner. is known for being very inaccurate. This Moz tool is supposed to be the best on the market now and provide some of the most accurate data for volume. Now, why does that matter, guys? Why do we care so much about volume? I know that seems like a bit of a silly question, but why does that metric matter to us as it relates to keyword phrase research? It's nice to know how popular our search phrase is that we're trying to target, isn't it? That gives us an idea of how much traffic we're going to get if we rank #1 in Google for sturdy storage. If we rank #1 in Google for sturdy storage, we're not going to get a ton of traffic. We will get some based on this analysis. But would it still be a good Google ranking? Yeah. Depending on your site, sure. Okay. So that's volume. Are we pretty clear on volume, everybody? Now, going back to what we were looking at just a second ago with keyword suggestions, this should sort of make this much more interesting to you. So if I click on See All 1,000 Suggestions, I can come down here and you're going to see various volume scores here at the right. Let's just look at these ones that are showing up here. Okay, 11 to 50 here. 501 to 850, so this is quite a bit more popular. 11 to 50. You'll see some of these early on. No data means that they really don't have any data on it. It doesn't mean it's a bad keyword phrase. They just don't have the numbers yet. And I think that's partially because the tool is still fairly new. I think those gaps will be filled in as this continues to marinate. But you'll see that a little bit. Check out this one right here. This is by far your most popular phrase. Plastic storage bins. Between 6,000 and 9,000 searches per month. That's a pretty big number. That you would get a ton of traffic on if you managed to pull a first page ranking. Well, if we're interested in this keyword phrase, we can certainly look at it. I can click on plastic storage bins, and I can save it to a list. Okay, if you'll notice kind of on the right-hand side of my screen here, I can go up here to the top right, and I can create my own lists, and I can save some of the ones that I'm interested in or I want to research to a list. Let's come back up here, though. Let's just type that in, plastic storage. I think it was bins with an S. Yes, it was. And let's do a search. And let's go to overview. And let's see what it gives us here. Okay, so there's your volume. 6,000 to 9,000 with a 95% probability that that's accurate. Okay, let's talk about difficulty for just a minute. So, it's exciting and wonderful to find these keyword phrases that are relevant to your site that have high volume, which means they're being typed in a lot. But we also need to look at difficulty, okay? And that's why we look at this metric right here, the difficulty metric. Somebody explain to me, what's difficulty mean? Difficulty to do what with this keyword phrase? Let's Google search it. What was it? Plastic storage bins. Here's the first page of Google for plastic storage bins. Yeah, so this is indeed how hard it would be for us to rank somewhere here on the first page of Google. Now, if you have a #1 ranking in Google, it doesn't mean you're going to be right here, right? That's a paid advertisement. You know it's a paid advertisement in Google because of this yellow ad. You see how that's showing up? Those are all paid advertisements. I could get you to the top of Google today when somebody types in that search term if you were willing to pay for it, right? Via an ad. But we're not wanting to do that, right? We want to rank organically, which means we want to rank down here. See, this is the first organic listing. Okay, so this is number 1. That's the first organic listing. Listing number 1 is here. This is 2. That's 3. Okay, there's your top 3 spots right there. As we scroll down the page a little bit, here's 4, here's 5, here's 6, here's 7. And then underneath that, they've got images, and then there's 8, and then there's 9, and then they have more ads here at the bottom. So basically what this is saying to us, this tool, it's saying you've got a 41 score in terms of how difficult it would be to break onto the first page of Google. This score is between 0 and 100. Let me click on the little eye here. And by the way, if you want to do that to learn these, this is better. Let me roll my mouse over it. There we go. A score from 0, which would be rated easy, to 100, which would be rated difficult, that estimates how difficult it is for you to rank higher than current competitors on the first page of search results. And that's what we just established. Now, you know, before, when we used this other tool, it wasn't as accurate because it wasn't measuring just the first page of Google. They were measuring to come up with that score, like the first 20 websites that came up in Google. And what they've done is they've made the numbers more accurate because they really are only looking at the first page of Google this time. So this is getting a rating of 41, which I think is reasonable. I think it kind of falls under the same guidance that we gave you guys before, that you want something less than 50. Because if it gets over 50, it gets impossible for a small business to rank. So I'm going to stick to that suggestion for now, even though I don't know really. I'm going to have to use this tool a little bit and verify how accurate that is. But as a rule for now, guys, we're just going to say that in your research, please don't go after things that are more than 50. Lower is better. Lower means you have a better probability more quickly of breaking onto the first page. A lot of people don't do this research. They go after what seems obvious, what has the highest search volume, what's most popular, and they think those are the best keywords. Well, I was telling you guys earlier that a lot of people use Google Planner, and Google Planner is great, but it only tells you how popular keywords are. So everybody just goes after the most popular ones, and then they never rank for it. Use this number. Lower is better. Okay, are we pretty clear on the difficulty part? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Now let's look at the 2 new metrics right here that I think you guys will find pretty interesting. I want to talk to you guys about opportunity for just a minute. This is something that's never been really analyzed very well, and they're saying in their announcement that this is pretty new. There's no other tools that really do anything like this. I want you guys to notice something real quick. I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to do a keyword search. Notice, let's do a keyword search for an athlete. Okay. Okay. If I do a keyword search for an athlete, you'll notice that Google gives me some interesting results. Okay. They give news results first, and then they give this profile over here to the right-hand side. As you scroll down, here are the normal results. Okay. So what was different with this one, because Google wants to do what they want to do, when you plug in a famous name or an athlete, instead of like paid ads, there's nobody paying to rank for the word Kobe Bryant. Why would they, right? There's not money in that. You're not going to pay for that. So you don't see any paid ads, but you see news here. How about this? What if I type in gas station? If I type in the word gas station, Google is going to show me images at the top. They show me a Wikipedia entry. Then they show me a map of gas stations that are nearby me. And then they start showing me organic search results. Okay? Then they show me news at the bottom. More organic search results. Notice there's no paid ads. Okay, what about this search term? Whoops, got to spell that right. How to become a beekeeper. Well, if I type that in, I get an ad up here, and then I get normal search results almost all the way down the page. And then it hits me with some YouTube videos. Have you guys noticed that Google kind of does what they want to do here, right? On the first page of Google, you don't necessarily see just a list of websites anymore, right? And that's what I wanted to illustrate here. You can see a first page of Google can have lots of different things. It could have ads like we saw. It could have YouTube links like we're looking at right now. It can have news links. It can have image links. It can have organic listings, which is what we are, right? That's what we're trying to achieve, are these normal organic listings. But you have so much more competition on the homepage of, or on the first page of Google these days for certain keywords, because certain keywords have more of the other stuff, right? There's going to be some keywords you do a search for that are just going to have plain organic results, and then others that have more of this videos and news and pictures. The example that Moz uses that I thought was really good, let me see if I can find it real quick. I was just coming up with those search results off the top of my head. Yes, here we go. Best free PowerPoint software. Okay, notice if we look for best free PowerPoint software, you basically just get a list of search results. There's no like images or maps or videos, or it's not clouded and confused with all of that extra stuff, which makes a ranking for this keyword phrase a little bit better, because you're more likely to get clicked on. When there's all the other clutter on the page, it's less likely that you're going to get clicked on. Are you guys following that? Is that making sense so far? So what Moz does is they create this opportunity score, okay? And it reads like this: a score from 0 to 100 that estimates the relative click-through rate of organic web results for this keyword. When other SERP features compete for searcher attention, this score is lower. So if you have a lot of clutter, if you've got maps and YouTube and other things that are showing up for plastic storage bins, your opportunity is lower. Your opportunity is higher if your chances of getting clicked on are higher. Does that make sense, guys? We want higher opportunity in this case. This is definitely a new metric, but it's always been something on our minds as internet marketers, because you know, it used to be really easy. It used to be in Google, if you did a keyword search, there would be a few ads, and then there would be the normal organic results. That was it. And you got clicked on a whole lot more. But it's harder now, because Google clutters it with other stuff. Some of the stuff we just mentioned, okay? So I don't know how we're going to use this metric. I'm not going to give you any guidelines on numbers, but suffice it to say, it's something you can track when you're doing your keyword research. And we'd like to see higher opportunity numbers. Lower opportunity means more clutter. Higher opportunity means more clicks. That's a good way to look at it. More clutter and less clicks with a lower score. Less clutter and more clicks with a higher number. So we want that number high. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? We'll dig into this stuff more detail. I want this to be high level. Okay, last metric here. And feel free to stop me and ask questions as we're going through here. But last metric is called potential. Potential, you want a higher score. Because what potential does is it basically aggregates these first three metrics and puts it together and spits out a score as to how good they think the keyword phrase is. So a good potential keyword phrase is going to have high volume, low competition, and high opportunity. That's going to yield higher potential. Well, if the volume is kind of low and the difficulty is high and the opportunity is low, that's going to yield low potential. Potential is just a way to basically give you a quick number to give you an idea about how good is this keyword phrase that you found. I don't have any firm, concrete numbers that I'm going to say you need to be looking for potential, because we're all just doing this at the same time. I mean, this is as new to you as it is to me. But you want I just want you to understand how that number comes to be. And it's created with higher numbers for demand and volume, lower for competition, and higher for opportunity. That yields higher potential. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? Where that number comes from? I want to make sure I'm being clear here. In the end, if you're really interested in digging into some detail on this, on how all of this stuff works, I really do want you to come in here and read this report. I've gone through it in some detail. And some of you guys are going to want to, I know some of you guys love to sort of learn all the details behind stuff like this, and so this would be for you. But if you're okay just to understand it on a high level, understand it the way we explained it. So in short, when you're doing your keyword research, nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed is you're using a new tool. And this new tool does exactly what the old tool did. It gives us volume and difficulty. Those are the same, these two right here, these are the same two pieces of information that we were getting before. They're just more accurate now. And these two are new, and I'm not sure exactly what numbers you want to be looking for other than you want high opportunity and high potential. Okay? Are we pretty clear, everybody, on the basics of this tool? Does that make sense? Oh, sure, Cindy, I didn't do that. Let me hover over this. Under potential, it says a score of 0 to 100 that combines all the other metrics, including your custom importance score, which we actually haven't talked about. You guys probably won't use the custom importance score unless you're a Moz Pro member and you plan on paying. Higher potential represents a sweet spot or higher volume and opportunity with lower difficulty. So that's sort of what we talked about. And I just don't have a benchmark at this point, Michelle. Not for those. I mean, I'm not going to stand here and pretend like I know, because this is such a new tool. I'm going to be using it just like you guys are. So maybe later, maybe in a few months after we've used it for a while, I may have a benchmark. But the only thing I'm going to say is just higher is better with those two new ones. I believe you do, Russell. With your 2 searches you get, I think you get access to all of this. Now, I'm on my Moz Pro account, so I haven't used it on a free level, but from what I understand, that's the case. You get those 2 searches with all the data, but it stops you there. Yeah, that's right, Catherine. I mean, what's cool about it is you really can. If you've got, for you guys that are blogging a whole lot, creating content, if an idea pops into your head, without a membership, you just hop over to this tool, do a quick search, and boom, you can look up a couple of keywords to see how good they are. Eventually, I want you guys making enough money to where you can afford the $150 a month, because you'll use this a lot throughout your entire business. But a lot of you guys aren't there, so just use the couple of free ones or use the free trial. Well, I think this is enough tonight. I mainly did this one tonight for you guys that are currently using the old tool. I wanted to make sure the transition into this new one wasn't quite so shocking. Everything is the same, really. It's just a little bit better, a little more visual. And there's some other features that we haven't really covered tonight that I'd like to cover in some more detail over the coming weeks and months. And we'll probably do some more discussion about it next week. So come prepared. Maybe use it a little bit, and we'll get a chance to talk more about it. We haven't talked about the SERP analysis that they have there, and we haven't talked a lot about how we can create our own custom lists. And anyway, maybe we can do some examples or whatever. But hopefully this was helpful to you guys. Use this new keyword tool. I think it'll be a good one. If it's like any of the products that Moz has created over the years, you won't be disappointed. You'll be glad you used it. Okay? All right, guys, until next time. Webinars are back, regular schedule, since I'm back from vacation, so I'll see you all next week. If you have any questions in the meantime, you know where to find me.